Hi, I'm Ellie from the BBC Good Food Cookery team, and today I'm going to show you how to ice biscuits using the flooded icing technique. Now, if you're making hanging biscuits, like I'm going to, the first thing to do is get your biscuits out the oven and using a straw, stamp holes into the top of them. This is much better than using a skewer because you get a much neater finish. And if your straw gets a little bit blocked up, just snip off the end. Work relatively quickly here to make sure that your biscuits don't harden up. Now allow these to cool completely before you begin icing them. My biscuits are cool and now ready to be iced. I've got some fondant icing here. You can use normal icing, but this will give a shinier, more professional finish. I'm going to add a bit of water. Don't worry if it's a little bit thin, you can always add a little bit more icing sugar. What you're looking for is a thick consistency. It needs to be stiff enough to hold its place, but still thin enough to stick to the biscuit. The trick to doing the piping bag is to peel it back over your hand and then spoon your icing into it. And tie it securely with an elastic band. Okay, then snip the end to a small hole and begin to pipe your biscuits. You want to pipe around the edges as neatly as you can. This will create a wall for the next set of your icing. If you've made hanging biscuits like me, make sure you go around the inner hole as well. Keep this bag to use later, and then leave these aside to set. These have set and I'm ready to start my flood icing. I've got some sifted icing sugar here, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. You want this icing to be at a much thinner consistency than the last set. Look for consistency where if you leave it to settle in the bowl, it'll settle to flat in about 10 seconds. Put it into as many different bowls as you'd like coloured. I'm going to colour this one blue. So using a skewer, put a small amount of blue gel into the bowl. And give it a good stir. And this is ready to go into another piping bag. Then you want to snip your piping bag a little bit further up than you did for the stiffer icing. And you can begin to pipe. Spread it onto the biscuits, and then using a skewer or a toothpick, pick up your biscuit and spread the icing to the sides. You need to work reasonably fast doing this so that the icing doesn't set. Then pick up your stiffer icing, and you can use this to decorate. You want to make sure that these are still wet at the time, just so this soaks in. If you're making a calendar, you can pipe numbers onto your biscuits. I'm piping 3 at a time just to ensure that the blue icing doesn't set before the white icing has a chance to sink in. Once you've finished them all, leave them to set overnight for a really glossy finish. And that's how you ice biscuits using the flooded icing technique from BBC Good Food.